Hi, I'm Dr. John Valenza, Interim Dean of the University of Texas Dental Branch at Houston. Welcome to Bay E in the current Dental Branch building. While this room supports our efforts in clinical research, it's also home to 3 exciting prototypes for labs, simulation, and clinics for our new building. As we plan for the future, we often say we're not going to simply transfer what we're doing in our current building to the new one. But what does that actually mean? As you'll hear from 3 of our faculty in this episode, we'll demonstrate how we're taking careful study and lessons learned from design to reality.
Our current clinics, as you know, consist of long bays of 12 chairs each with walls in between each bay, and it makes it difficult for faculty coverage from one bay to another. So with that in mind, we designed the new clinic to be much more open with pods of chairs and no permanent walls throughout the whole pre-doctoral clinic, so that you could stand at one end of the clinic and virtually see through the whole clinic, making it easier for faculty coverage. We also took into account the design of the individual operatories. Our current operatories, first of all, have a lot of cabinet space in them that is no longer used. The cubicle itself is crowded with everything coming off of the chair or a pole attached to the chair at this point. Makes it difficult for more than one person to be in the clinic at one time. The computer is not in the ideal situation. When we use the computer in our current cubicles, we have to turn our back on the patient, which certainly is not ideal. So in the new cubicles, we've designed it so that we have a rear delivery system, putting all of the instrumentation behind the patient. We have put the light source on a center cabinet, getting that out of the circle of treatment. And we've arranged the computer so that it is within the circle of care for the patient, so that the patient can view the computer, or it can be moved so that the operator can enter data into the computer out of the field of care.
There are going to be opportunities to standardize things that we haven't been able to do in the past. And especially with some of the new equipment, we can be better prepared for each individual student to be more on the same level. Because as we know, some of our students get very differing clinical experiences. They have difficult or easy patients to work with. They have some patients that have all the criteria they need and others that don't. And if we had an opportunity to standardize that in some way, it would allow us to have an in-product student that was actually more on par with every other student. And that's a benefit we haven't ever really had in dentistry in the past. Simulated patients, hopefully, as they develop, will be much more realistic in every aspect. The patients can have a health history. The patients can have virtual problems that we could identify and then place into the model we're using. And as students are able to use those, they can not only advance their hand skills, but again, they can also advance their decision-making skills.
The biggest thing that we're anticipating is the high technology that we expect to have, especially in the preclinical laboratory. The advanced teaching station for the preclinical laboratory will certainly aid the quality of our education for our students, because just as we have currently in the simulation center, we will have those types of technologies where we can do basically one-on-one presentations with the entire class in the preclinical laboratory, just as we do right now in the simulation center. There were several changes in the planning process for the new building, and much of it revolved around the fact that we were not sure whether or not we wanted to have a separate simulation clinic and separate preclinical laboratory, And as it turned out, I think it will be a great boon to the students to have two separate facilities. One, the simulation clinic, which will serve as a great preparation for moving into the clinic, and then a full laboratory that will be able to house all of our dental students at one time.
Soon, faculty, staff, and students will be able to visit this room to test these prototypes and others as we finalize equipment specifications for the new building. This feedback will be critical for our facility to be the best. When we move to the new building in 2012, the link between labs, simulation, and clinics will be evident in how we care for patients, conduct research, and teach students. Thanks for watching, stay tuned, and as always, the best is yet to come. High tech has become a way of life at the dental branch with digital patient records, online learning and testing, and other new and exciting tools for teaching and research. Next up on V-flash.